Hello, guys. Before we get into today's episode, I wanted to give you a very special warning that the platform we're about to talk about and the man I'm about to interview are a scam. So, after I recorded the interview a few weeks ago, I went and tested this platform, which is to give people vacation vouchers for free. And so I tested the platform and it charged me for a vacation. The taxes and fees were $136. The exact same hotel for the exact same nights for the exact same room was $135 on agoda.com, which is a platform owned by booking.com. So they're claimed that they're only charging for taxes and fees when actually they're charging more than the hotel does directly if you buy publicly without a platform. Well, that's dishonest. I would feel very uncomfortable giving a voucher to one of my customers saying, oh, you just have to pay the taxes and fees. And the taxes and fees end up costing more than the room would if you just booked it directly. In addition, they show you 4 hotels at the location. They say, oh, these are 4 of our partner hotels. And when I looked at the dates available and I tried a lot of different dates, those 4 hotels were always listed as an additional price. And when I did the math, I discovered that if I paid that additional price, it again goes back to being the public cost. So the numbers I saw weren't an exception. Now, I did find one room where for a 4-night stay, I could save a whopping $10. Now, the way the platform works is that once you send a voucher to your customer for a free vacation, they're then sent to a place to pay the taxes and fees. And once they do, that fee is non-refundable. And I realized the reason it's non-refundable is because people will immediately discover when they try to book a vacation that it's overpriced. So because of that discovery, I wanted to let you guys know exactly what happened. Now, what you're going to see is an interview of me with Marco from Marketing Boost talking about his platform before I know that it's a scam. And I want you to see how the interaction goes and to see the reality of an interview I record before I'm able to test the platform. I tried to test it before our interview, but actually there were some technical issues. And now that I have my proof, well, I'm very disappointed because I was about to start sharing the platform with a lot of my friends and other people I work with. So I wanted to be very transparent with you guys and let you see a real interview, real interaction where someone is pitching something to my audience that's dishonest. Now, if you go and click that link at the end of it, it does go through an affiliate link and I'll get paid. Please do not click the link. Please do not use this service. It will cause a lot of problems in the relationship between you and your customers. Because I know that if I gave a voucher to one of my customers that costs more than the actual vacation that it claims was free, it would devastate that relationship and really hurt me. I just couldn't do that. It would violate my integrity. So what you're going to see is a real interaction, me being totally transparent. I haven't edited or modified that interview at all, so you can see the real deal. I did reach out to Marco and send him an email saying, hey, here's what happened. Here's screenshots proving what your platform is. And of course, no reply. So I gave him the chance to respond because that's very important to me. I didn't want to just publish that without giving him a chance to say maybe it was an aberration. But based on my experience of talking with 2 different support teams, this was not an exception. This is something that clearly happens a lot, and it's obviously built into their strategy, and it makes me very uncomfortable. So I wanted to share that with you guys so you kind of see what it's like when you encounter someone who is pitching something that knowingly doesn't work, knowingly is false, and is actually a complete and total ripoff, right? You can't tell someone you're giving them a vacation or a discount when it costs more than the actual vacation. That's not a discount on any level. And so that's a really big problem for me. So I want you to see that. Without further ado, let's get into my interview with Marco for Marketing Boost. Using add-on incentives instead of competing by dropping your prices on today's episode of the Serve No Master podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Virality Now. There is no better platform for growing your audience and building an online business fast than TikTok. Register for our free weekly live training and see how you can build an audience without needing to show your face, be young and beautiful, or have an existing business at servemaster.com/TikTok.
Are you tired of dealing with your boss? Do you feel underpaid and underappreciated? If you want to make it online, fire your boss and start living your retirement dreams now, then you've come to the right place. Welcome to Serve No Master podcast, where you'll learn how to open new revenue streams and make money while you sleep. Presented live from a tropical island in the South Pacific by best-selling author Jonathan Green. Now, here's your host.
Hello, everyone. We have a very special episode today. We have Marco Torres today, who's an expert at increasing the value of your offers without increasing your costs, which is really the most important part. What I found myself is that whenever I'm offering a bonus or an additional value, the less work it costs me, the more people want it. So I used to create bonuses that were like, I'll go through the entire program with you. I'll do 20 hours of extra work, and feel like, we don't want that. But as soon as it's something easy, something my team can create, everyone wants it. So I'm really excited by the idea of adding value to your offer without adding in a bunch of costs or a bunch of extra work. So thank you so much for being here today, Marco.
Hey, thank you for having me. I look forward to this, Jonathan.
So I'd love to know a little bit about how you got into this idea, because I'm very interested. I know that you help people give away vacations. I've always been baffled by how this works. So maybe we could just start there and kind of how you got interested in this part of the market.
Yeah, great question. Well, when we started this, it came about by accident for our own business. We've been in the travel space since the early 2000s, and we were building at the time a very fast growing travel website, retail site to consumers. And we were really moving fast. I mean, we were one of the fastest growing travel sites in North America. But we kept wondering, what could we do to incentivize our clients to film a selfie testimonial from the resorts or hotels and beaches around the world. We knew if we only had video testimonials from hundreds of clients, we'd be able to leverage those into thousands of additional sales. But we couldn't get anybody to, go make that extra mile. If we asked them to film a selfie video, very few would do it. So then we came up with an idea. Well, what if we incentivize them with a bonus trip? We offer them a 3-night bonus getaway in Orlando or Las Vegas if they would film a selfie video from the hotel, the beaches, the resort, the pool, whatever they like the best, and brag about that hotel brand and ours. We would leverage that into more sales. So we came up with a survey. Now, mind you, Jonathan, this is a great idea that any business owner out there can immediately implement, because all of us need video. We all need reviews and testimonials. And the more you have and the more frequent they come in and the more that, the better you look in the eyes, or you have that social proof your clients need. So we did a survey, and here's the key you could take away. We did a survey when our clients, we expected them to be at their peak of happiness, which was in our case the day after they checked into the hotel. So we'd send them an email and a text message saying, hey, how's the hotel living up to your expectations? How are we doing so far? And what do you think of the hotel property? And if they replied, we'd ask them, give us a score of 1 to 5. How are we coming in? If they gave us back a 4 or 5, our automation would immediately kick back and send them another email and text message saying, would you do us a huge favor and help us spread the word? We're thrilled you're having a great time. You're enjoying the hotel. Would you help us spread the word about that brand and our brand and film a selfie video from the beaches, the pool, the resort, whatever, and brag about the hotel and us? We'll reward you with a complimentary hotel stay. And they started coming in by the dozens, and then before you know it, we had hundreds. Today, we have over 30,000 video testimonials from happy travelers, more than any other travel site in the world. But then a few months later, they were raising their hands going, okay, how do we get that free trip you offered? So now we were having to pay out of our pocket for these rooms that we had promised, this bonus stay we had promised. And of course, that was costing a pretty penny. So then we were like, well, how can we reduce that cost? So we went back to our travel partners, being that we were a high volume travel company, and we went back to them and said, look, we know you've got a problem and we think we can fix it. Your hotel is never full year round. I mean, yes, you're full on certain weekends, peak season, holidays, special events, but the majority of the year, 70% of the year, 30% of your rooms, if not more, are going empty, right? And they agreed. So we said, we can put warm bodies, couples, families, individuals in those hotel rooms that are going to spend money at the restaurant, the bar, the spa, the casino, the gift shop, the excursion desk. They'll book extra nights. They'll tell their friends about it. They'll put selfie videos and so forth. And so they agreed to give us a try. So we had a couple of hotels in Orlando and Las Vegas agree to give us the, what would otherwise been empty hotel rooms. So that means we were filling about 32 weeks out of 52 weeks a year of available inventory. So they weren't going to be able to get 4th of July, Christmas week, New Year's Eve, and so on. And now we were able to fulfill our own free trips. And then we thought to ourselves, can you imagine if we were to solicit, dozens, if not then hundreds of destinations around the world and get hotel partners everywhere? If we could do that, we'd have a new standalone business, which is eventually what we did. And we essentially what became marketingboost.com, where we create the wow factor, the delight factor, the wow, surprise, and delight factor that helps you stand out from the crowd and add value to your offer, whatever it is, without costing you more money and without having to put your client. We revolutionized the travel incentive business. There's no timeshare tour presentations involved. There's no hoops to jump through. They're easy to use. It's affordable for the Marketing Boost member, and it's a super deal for the end user who receives the complimentary hotel incentive. So today we offer 125 destinations around the world, from 3-night stays to up to 7-night stays around the world. We can get into more of that along the way here.
So the real value to the hotel comes from the guest spending additional money once they're there because they're in that vacation mindset.
Correct. So they're getting some revenue versus no revenue for the hotel, and they're hoping that the client is going to. There is, of course, airfare is not included. Let's cover some of the basics here. Airfare is not included. Food and beverage is never included, and neither are the hotel government taxes. So Uncle Sam or any government around the world, they all, when somebody checks into that hotel, they expect to get paid what would have been the government taxes and tourism fees and so forth. So that's still due, and that can be paid by either the Marketing Boost member or the end user of the certificate. And in most cases, all of our clients will let the member, the clients pay that. They just do a proper disclosure. They'll tell them, look, I'm giving you the complimentary hotel stay. Airfare is not included. Food and beverage is not included, nor the government taxes. So they pay an activation fee, which covers those government taxes and fees, which the hotel now has to pay the government. But as they check in, they're hoping they're going to spend money again, the excursion desk, the hotel, the restaurant, the bar, room service, and they see enough of that revenue that they stay in the program.
Yeah, this is something that when my family, we ran a hotel for about 2 years. And I used to say to my wife, I said, we're not a hotel. We're a surfboard rental agency that happens to have rooms, because we made way more money renting surfboards, which are my favorite thing to rent because they last forever. There's nothing to fix, like when you're trying to rent out motorcycles, which is a very common business here. I said, no, I'm not doing that because there's so many parts. There's only one part on a surfboard, the fin. It breaks, you screw a new one in. That I can fix. So that's really important to understand, is that a lot of times the main revenue for a hotel, it's not the room rentals. That's kind of why rooms in Vegas are so cheap. The room is the least important part of the business. They want you in that casino.
Right. Exactly. So that's why you'll see deals, often in Vegas or, depending, especially but yeah, Vegas is a perfect example of that. Yep.
So one of the things that I sometimes wonder about with this particular thing is where you add a bonus to an offer that's not in the same market. Like, it makes sense to me if I'm on a trip, you offer a second trip. But if someone's selling a course like how to get into cryptocurrency or how to get into real estate and then offering a trip, how does someone create congruence? Because sometimes I see that and I go, it sounds too good to be true. I know that when I've seen that on a promotion, I go, I don't know about that. It sounds too good to be true. So it makes me hesitant. Like, it's almost too much value.
Well, that's true. That can be true in some cases. So we do caution our members to use them sparingly and create scarcity and urgency, and not hand them out like candy. Even though as a Marketing Boost member, you can give them as many of them away as you want. So there's a membership that gives you the ability to give away an unlimited amount of these complimentary hotel stays. But we also have two other categories of incentives. One being hotel savings cards. They come in increments of $100, $200, $300, and $500. And they work like a gift card, but they don't pay for the entire hotel stay. They will end up discounting the room rate compared to the Expedia's, Priceline, Hotels.com of the world, the retailers. And so these hotel savings cards offer a discount at over 1 million hotels worldwide. And then we also have restaurant savings vouchers that are good at about nearly 100,000 restaurants throughout the USA and Canada. So these are smaller, what I call micro incentives to go with a micro call to action. So depending upon what your call to action is, if you're asking somebody to book a Zoom call with you, and this is very popular, by the way, a lot of our members, today we use the power of these Zoom calls, which is amazing, right? We don't have to drive all over town for every sales call that we used to have to do in the past. Now we can jump on a Zoom call and make it a sales presentation without having to go anywhere. But one of the challenges is, one, can you get people to actually book that appointment? And more importantly, when they book the appointment, how many of them are no-shows? So if you can get more people to show up for your sales calls or your sales staff calls, you're going to increase sales automatically. So we have a lot of our members using the micro incentives as an add-on value, just to, for example, book a no obligation Zoom call with us today, and we're going to give you a $100 hotel savings card just for showing up on time for the appointment. And then all of their email and text message reminders can be saying, look, we know your time is valuable, so is ours. So if you'll show up on time for the appointment you made, we will reward you with a $100 or $200 hotel savings card or a restaurant savings voucher. And these are huge in getting people to, help remind them and encourage them to show up on time for the call. And of course, boom, that means you're going to make more appointments, make more sales because there's more people that your staff or yourself are speaking to.
It's really interesting because I get hit with really bad incentives all the time. Like some big companies like, oh, we notice you have a huge website, you have a big reputation. Will you leave us a review? We'll give you a $5 Amazon card. Nothing on Amazon costs $5. Like, it's maybe 50. When I was a kid, yeah, you could get a toy for $5, but not these days. Like everything is $20 or more. My kids don't have a $5 toy. I wish, or a $5 Starbucks gift card. I'm like, I don't think anything in Starbucks costs $5 anymore. So I do see that where people struggle. They have the idea of offering value, but
well, it can get expensive. I mean, even at $5, if you're a high volume marketer, you're giving away $5 bills for everybody to do whatever it is you're asking them to do, that can start adding up. And so in our case, if you're a Marketing Boost member, there's a flat monthly fee, and then it gives you the ability to use as many of these as you want without having to pay for any of them individually. So it can, it can save you a lot of money and better yet, there are much higher perceived value with the call to action. So, for example, I recommend, the complimentary hotel stays be saved for a higher, a better call to action, like such as, buy, there's really two ways to implement them. Either buy and you get, or inquire and you get. So you buy and you get one of our, a bonus trip, yada, yada, yada. Or you inquire about such and such, get a free quote, book a Zoom call, etc., and we will reward you with one of these incentives. And, one of the things a lot of people like you are asking, how do I implement this with when I'm not in the travel business? And I want to relate it to, first of all, two big, incentive companies two companies that have been using incentives that have made billions of dollars over this. And that'll help people realize why they need an incentive in the first place. Would that make sense to do that, Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Sure. Okay. So let's talk about, for example, Jeff Bezos with Amazon. How did he end up winning all of us to become loyal clients on Amazon? Well, he created an incentive years ago now, and it was Amazon Prime. And when he first launched this, most of us weren't even really into streaming video yet. But we were he created Amazon Prime with the whole idea that the incentive was free shipping. So you pay $99 a year for Amazon Prime to get the free shipping. And eventually we found out, oh, well, we can get some video streaming as well. But we were all interested in the incentive of what? Free shipping. And then after that, then he had us. Now, before we shopped on, anywhere else online, we'd go see if Amazon had it because we could get it the free shipping more than likely. So that's a huge, and then he became, one of the richest men in the world with that concept. McDonald's is still using today, decades later, the Happy Meal. They'll offer that toy. What does a toy have to do with a burger and a soda and whatever? Nothing. But the packaging, the meal with a hamburger and a soda and a fruit or whatever that comes in it, plus the toy became the incentive that kids would say, hey, I want a Happy Meal, or parents would be like, let's pull into McDonald's versus Burger King because the kid will give him a Happy Meal. He's going to have a toy in the back seat to keep him busy with that while we can talk down the road for the next, until we get there or whatever it might be. And so that incentive has created about $3 billion a year of additional revenue for McDonald's for decades now. And they continue to use them, and people are choosing them versus Burger King or something else. So if they've got children. So what is your adult Happy Meal? And that is what we bring to the table. We help you have that surprise and wow package that you can add to whatever your call to action, whatever business. You're a business coach. Here's some ideas. You're a business coach and you're hoping your client, would hire you for 6 months or a year versus a month to month, right? So maybe you come up with a carrot and you're saying, look, by the way, if you hire me as a business coach, it's going to take us a few months of working together for you to implement our strategies and implement all of these ideas and watch your business slowly grow and scale. And so here's the reward. If you'll stick with us for 6 months to make sure we can introduce all of the plans I'm going to be bringing you, on your 6-month anniversary, I'm going to reward you with a complimentary hotel stay 6 days and 5 nights in Cancun, Mexico. So you're adding that as a carrot, which is creating not only incentive to do business with you, but the loyalty to stick with you for 6 months before they earn it, for example. Or you might say, look, I'll give you the 7th month free. And you can also add your own value add incentives. You might say, look, I'm going to give you the 7th month free if you'll stick with me for a minimum of 6 months, or if you pay in advance. So you pay the 6 months in advance. I'll give you the 7th month free. And I'm going to reward you with a 6-day, 5-night complimentary hotel stay in Cancun or Cabo San Lucas. These trips they don't include airfare, they don't include food and beverage, but I've got your luxury hotel stay on me. So you're creating that. And that's what does travel have to do with a business coach? Nothing, but it's an incentive that makes people like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And that makes you stand out from everything else. And it also makes me do something above and beyond, such as contracting with you for 6 months or what have you. Let's say you're a multi-level marketer. You might want to add the incentive based on a quick start program. Look, guys, you get started today, in 90 days, if you reach these goals, if you bring on 6 people that I help you sign up, and then one of those brings on 2, I'm going to reward you with, boom, this complimentary hotel stay. So there's just, if you have a little bit of creativity, and that's part of what we're always teaching, by the way. We have a Facebook group with almost 29,000 entrepreneurs in that Facebook group, and we're always sharing ideas on how to use these incentives and how to position them in your offer and the creatives and et cetera. We provide all kinds of free creatives and videos for almost every industry and sample sales landing pages and a whole lot more.
Yeah. One of the challenges of this when we were running a hotel is that everyone around us started doing price competition where they were lowering on the prices until they were taking a loss with every single guest. And it just became a big problem in the market, which is why we ended up closing our business rather than entering that. I said, let's pivot because I don't want to enter. And it was a good time because a month later, everything got shut down during the pandemic. So we sold off all of our assets 1 month before everyone else who bought it goes, we can't use it. And I was like, just good timing. But the race to the bottom is something that a lot of people get pulled into when their sales are slagging off or slowed down. They go, oh, maybe the problem is my price is too high. And I can certainly say I've had people reject me, go, oh, your price is too low. You must not be any good. I've heard that more often than the price is too high. So how can people switch to this mindset of realizing that the price isn't the problem?
Yeah, no doubt. And price discounting, I mean, depending upon what your costs are, a lot of people don't necessarily realize this, but you got to know your math and your numbers, right? But if your net profit, for example, is 20% after expenses, let's take a look at the problem first. If your entire net profit is, let's for example, say 20%, then discounting 10% would mean you'd have to nearly double your sales to end up in the exact same spot you were the day before with as far as net profit's concerned. So that can obviously be difficult and not a sustainable practice to be discounting. So you want to try to hold your price. And we have found many a Marketing Boost member, they're using our incentives as their, what I call the mastermind secret, because they can add, instead of discounting, they can come up with ways to add more value, which might mean, again, additional units, additional products of your own. Maybe it's leveraging your relationships with others. If you're selling a course, maybe you're selling, hey, buy my course and get by networking with others, you might be able to say, look, I'll provide you my course that you can include free with your product if you'll let me add your course with mine. And now you might say, I've got, purchase our program here, and you're going to get as a bonus a free course on the following topic from my associate over here, Joe Blow. And now you're bringing his course in as a bonus value add for you. And then to top it off, if you take action this week, if you take action before Friday, 5 p.m. or, before today, or take action today, we have a limited number of these complimentary hotel stays. So if you take action today, we're going to give you a 3-night hotel stay in your choice of Las Vegas, Orlando, Chicago, whatever it might, is appropriate for your, sometimes you want to offer, we recommend drive-to destinations that people can easily use. So you could, if you know where your market is typically coming from, you might create an ad that says, hey, get 3 nights in San Diego or Las Vegas and on us. And then you might have an upsell. If you buy this upsell product, you get 5 nights in your choice of Hawaii or Cancun. So you can continue to, so to speak, add more value with a different longer stay, for example. But I hope that kind of answers your question. Again, it's about creativity and about being a testing too, because it's really, you got to do A/B testing and see what people react to. But we have found that they work in all industries. We have thousands of business owners around the world using us, everything from lemonade stands up in New York. I couldn't believe that. I don't even know how they're using our incentives, but we have lemonade stand guys, and we all the way to car dealerships in Chicago. We have business coaches, real estate agents, insurance agents, all sorts of home improvement companies that are using these in unique and creative ways to get people to either show up for an appointment or for both husband and wife to be home for an in-home presentation. If you're in the travel space, it's a super no-brainer. Then it's just buy one, get one, etc.
Well, this has been really amazing. We put together a special link so everyone can see. I know you put together a special offer for everyone today. They can get at servenomaster.com/boost, which will take them straight to your website. And I know you put together a special promotion. So you can tell everyone a little bit about that?
Sure. The special offer right now, you can get 30 days of Marketing Boost for free. 30 days of Marketing Boost for $1 bill, 30 days of Marketing Boost for $1. And then after that, it's only $37 a month. So if you'll use the link that Jonathan is promoting here, that way you can get 30 days for $1 after you've done that. And the first thing I recommend you do is give yourself these incentives so you can use one. Use one of I recommend Cancun. We have some AAA 4-diamond resorts in Cancun or in Cabo San Lucas that are just fabulous. So you want to give yourself one of those to try to take the trip so that you can be an evangelist for our brand. You'll see just what they can do for you and your family, much less your clients.
That's amazing. That's such an amazing offer. And again, that's at servenomaster.com/boost. The link is below the YouTube video. It's in the show notes and it's on our website. Thank you so much for giving us your time today, Marco. I'm really excited by this one.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Serve Master podcast. We give away amazing business bestsellers every single month. Head over to servenomaster.com/free books to see what we're giving away this month.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Serve No Master podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss another episode. We'll be back next week with more tips and tactics on how to escape the rat race. Please take a moment to leave a review at servenomaster.com/iTunes. It helps the show grow, and more listeners means more content for you. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.